What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, August 24th, day number 40 inside the Big Brother house. Where were the live feeds? They were down for a very long time. Who was nominated? Who is the target? AI Instigator has been unleashed. Who could it be? Also, the newest showmance of the season, Am and Angela? Let's talk about that, plus all the intel drama and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video, you'll never miss a stream. We have a lot to go over. Not really, actually, but let's recap what's been going on if you haven't been keeping up. T-Core won HOH. She did kind of a fast-paced one-on-ones with everybody, and it seemed like MJ was a lock to be nominated. Who were other nominees going to be? Maybe Leah, maybe Cam. Tucker volunteered, but he said it was just to be polite, and the feeds were blocked. We missed out on a lot of really important conversations that we didn't get to see. So there's a little bit of a fog of war at the moment on where the nominations stood as we were going into today, because they were down all night and almost all morning long. Now, we talked about it on yesterday's live update. We do live streams on Friday mornings. They're a lot of fun. You should come hang out with it. But we talked a little bit about what's going on, and I don't want to speculate too much on all the limited information that we have, because again, it is so limited, especially this year with no rewind, the lack of the archive on the feed. We just don't have all the info. And I want to tell you the things that we do know for sure, but also don't know if any of this is connected to why the feeds were down. We also don't know if it's connected to any of the reasons that we're going to be explaining here. We just know these are facts. These are things that happened, were cut and scraped together here to try and give you a picture of why maybe the feeds were down. But again, it's one of those things where I don't want this to end up being like pointing fingers at anybody, because we do have such limited information. And that's kind of the point, is we don't know what's going on. What we do know, Chelsea was upset about something. Some thought that it was because of Leah. Cam also mentioned telling T-Core about something that Tucker had said. And Rubina had told T-Core that someone said something inappropriate about race. That's all we know. Other than that, it's all guesswork. It's all kind of speculation. And I'm sure you've seen tons of different reasons on why the feeds were down. We just don't know. And I would hate to point a finger at anybody who did nothing wrong, but also it could just be a bunch of wild misunderstandings. We just don't know. And then because the feeds were down and because of the lack of communication, it just makes the speculation even worse. And it's a thing, but that's the best answer we can give you for now. When the feeds eventually did come back, there was really no indication on why they could have been down. One of the thoughts was that it was all about the AI Instigator, but that didn't actually come until later. Speaking of the AI Instigator, the very first message was given to the house guests. It was from AI Quinn, who said, you know, they should have voted out Rubina last week because her and Tucker were holding hands, and Tucker is crazy. Also, Pentagon for life. So that was the message that was sent to the house guests to try and stir up pot from the instigator. Most of them stayed in the living room afterwards, kind of in shock, except for Joseph. He dipped real quick. He was out of there. And Rubina got very upset, eventually headed on up to the HOH room with Tucker, where he consoled her and was like, listen, like, why does it even matter anyway? Now we can just do what we want in public. We don't have to hide it. Speculation again was running wild around the house. Some even saying it was Brooklyn from some secret room, or Ainsley just messing with them, making stuff up. And just about every person in the house pointed a finger at some other person in the house. Almost everyone had their name thrown out there as a possibility to be this AI instigator. My top picks, because we don't know 100% for sure. Nobody's confirmed it to the cameras that I've seen. Nobody's told anybody else yet. Thank goodness. Keep it a secret. Uh, my top picks are Joseph, mainly because one, he's been trying to throw Quinn under the bus more and more. And we'll actually get to stuff that he's been working with Leah about that. But he's been trying to do that with Quinn for a while now. So him choosing Quinn as the AI makes sense. And also, Leah told him about the hand holding with Tucker and Rubina. She also told him about a box of condoms that was open. Maybe he wanted to go with that, but they told him not to. But either way, that is stuff that Joseph knew about. Lots of people knew about the hand holding, though. It was something that had gotten around. I think almost everybody in the house had heard about it at some point. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's Joseph, but it could be anybody. My other top picks actually are Tucker and Angela. And mainly just because they're fan favorites, not just with the hardcore fans who watch the live feeds, watch videos like this. I know all of you guys, but fans of like casual viewers. I think the regular fans who just watch on TV like Tucker and Angela a lot as well. So could see them doing well. Would Tucker do that to Rubina though? And maybe Tucker didn't think she would take it so hard. Maybe this is like a Dan funeral type situation where he doesn't tell Danielle what's going on, and then later she's like, "Why didn't you tell me what's going on?" He's like, "Well, I needed you to cry, right? Like if you knew, you wouldn't have cried, and I needed that to be real." um, could be Angela, right? A lot of people were speculating that, hey, the hand holding thing, like everybody knew that. Why would you even say that? That seems like it's something that like Angela just heard about and she used it. Uh, Also makes a lot of sense because I think she's popular with the casual fans. Who it could be, though, is still up in the air. We will keep you up to date on all of that as it develops. Nominations. Let's get into that because this is a game after all. We need to figure out who's going to be going home this week. Well, like we said, a lot of good conversations about this were all cut. I really wish we would have gotten to see Chemo and T-Core's conversation after she had her one-on-ones with everybody else in the house. That would have given us a lot of information on where her head is actually at. We didn't get to see the friends with four Z's have their convo with Rubina, Tucker, T-Core, and Chemo because they were actually having a conversation. I saw they were having a conversation. It flashed up for literally half a second. I was able to grab a screenshot, post it over on Twitter saying, why can't we see this convo? This is one of the most important convos this week, and we don't get to see it. So we don't know exactly how this all developed 100%, but a lot of the names we all thought from the initial conversations. MJ is your first nominee, along with Cam, as well as Tucker. So, yes, even though we talked about how Tucker volunteered, he said it was just, to be polite, he does end up on the block. And again, I don't know 100% whether or not they had the further conversation with T-Core about it. I know he did volunteer and he then had a conversation with Chemo where he's like, well, I mean, I just did it to the light. I don't want to go up. I know Rubina did not want him to be going up either. And I'm sure they spoke up to T-Core about this. I would imagine during those meetings they had, especially that friends meeting, I would assume they said, hey, I'd rather not go up. There's plenty of other options, right? Like, hey, maybe Quinn, maybe Chelsea, maybe somebody, maybe Leah. There's plenty of other people. You don't have to put me up. And I'm sure at some point that was an actual conversation, but I didn't get to see that. So I can't for sure say that any frustration he has would be invalid. But he is frustrated. And it's wild because, again, if they did have that conversation, then T-Core did what she was mad about this entire season, about doing things for her and her alliance not listening to her. But yet, she doesn't speak up. And again, I don't want to be too hard because I don't know, but let me tell you, oh boy, if we see on Sunday's episode that Tucker made it clear, if we see that he made it clear that it was not a serious offer and that he does not want to go on the block, and Rubina did the same thing, oh boy. Oh boy, is that Ori rant going to be very intense on T-Core. But for now, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe Tucker didn't speak up enough, just like she wasn't speaking up enough to make sure that he wasn't on the block and to make sure that the things he wanted were happening. I can't go too hard just yet. All I know is that he did tell Chemo, and Rubina didn't want it either. Chemo also said to Rubina he didn't want it, but he didn't say that to Chemo. I didn't see that. So I can't 100% really go in too deeply. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for now. But it does seem, and this is again kind of going off a little bit more of my take on it. I do think T-Core, if she had the chance, I think she would like to see Tucker go this week. It would bring Rubina closer to her. You can say it was a mistake. We thought he was going to be safe. Oh no, how could this happen? But in a way, I could see where T-Core could think this was going to be good for her game. And in the long run, Tucker is a big threat. If you don't get him out now, or if you don't let somebody take that shot at him, it could end up being really hard to get him out. He's going to lose eventually. You still have the double eviction. Tucker also, I think, is somebody that you actually kind of would, if you were T-Core, want on the jury to vote for you. But maybe she feels good about other people who are out there to still be on the jury, that they would vote for her. Either way, it seems like her main goal, though, if everything goes to plan, because Tucker should have a good shot at winning the veto, he should have a good shot at winning the AI arena, is that MJ is the one to go this week. But again, we have a lot of time before that happens. Other little conversations of interest that I did end up seeing. We saw Tucker letting Joseph know that the rest of 6th Avenue, they're all super sketched out about him. But they did both say that, hey, we'll watch out for each other. And if, either of them ended up on the block against Rubina or Leah, respectively, that they would vote the other person out over each other, right? They would keep each other safe in those situations, and also vote against the person that not really a showman's for Joseph and Leah, but he's crushing hard. It is fascinating how Joseph has literally jumped into Quinn's shoes. He's become probably the person that a lot of people are suspect the most about. And he also is full on crushing on Leah. It's like Joseph went back in time and he Freaky Friday'd himself with Quinn. And now he's Quinn. But now it's a thing. It's definitely it's definitely a thing. Joseph and Leah also did have conversations where they were just trying to say they're going to look out for each other, keep each other's eye. Leah, though, also is doing work to kind of help Joseph in her attempts to, and not just her attempts, but their attempts to make Quinn seem suspect about things. She did a really good job with Chelsea, kind of saying like, "Oh, who do you think the instigator is?" Chelsea was saying, "I think it's either Quinn or Joseph," and Leah was saying like, "I think it's Quinn, right? Like he knew about the Pentagon name, right? And maybe Joseph would have told him about that, but it does, or Quinn could have told Joseph about that, but it all seems to be leaning towards Quinn. She was really pushing that as well. So it's going to be interesting to see that kind of little bit of a relationship develop. But we'll see how that goes. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. One more conversation I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I did call it a little bit early tonight. There's little whispers are going around, but really it's all about veto now at this point. Nobody's really talking about like the votes or how things are going or targets now at this point. They're all talking about the instigator, and it's a lot of just circling talks, right? The one kind of interesting thing that was really kind of funny, MJ was getting her shower for the night, and she was having a little chat with Angela and Cam. Now, Cam had just found out from people upstairs that Angela has a thing for Cam. And he came on down into the bathroom. And I don't know, I guess just the way Cam was looking, Angela caught on quickly. And she's like, listen, I know that you've heard that I think you're hot. I know it, but you're cute. What am I supposed to do? And this quickly was one of the most awkward conversations ever. MG's just in the shower, like, I can't even leave right now. Like, what are you guys doing? And it was pretty funny. This then though kind of spreads around the house pretty quickly as well, and more people start to find out. And eventually Angela's just like, it was a hypothetical. It was a hypothetical question. You can't hold me to this. But still, kind of interesting that our newest showmance of the season is Cam and Angela. Very, very interesting. We can take a look here at our allegiance chart. I don't think too much really has changed from the other day. I still think as of right now, and it's kind of funny because, like I said, I think T-Core would actually like to get Tucker out this week. I kind of set up the board before it even happened. Listen, I'm not saying I have a really good insight on how things are going in the game, but I think you guys can all tell at this point. Uh, Other than that, though, it does seem like things are really kind of the same, right? You got Quinn, Cam, Chelsea, who are more on the chemo T core side when it would come to the Tucker situation. Rubina's kind of stuck in the middle there, right? She's such good allies with chemo and T core, but she's in a showmance with Tucker. And we talked about this before. I almost actually think it could be a smart move here from T core. Get rid of Tucker right now, pull Rubina over to you because she's got nowhere else to go. She can be a huge number for you as you then go and start taking shots. And there's already other people set up, right? Normally, I would start thinking, all right, well, if you take care of Tucker, is the spotlight going to be shining back on you? And I think right now they have it set up where there are other targets that are still out there, right? For example, MJ would still be around. Joseph is becoming a huge house target. Cam is still a target. Quinn is still a target. People would potentially look at Rubina before them. But one of the big things is, right, with the showman's kind of getting a little bit of a spotlight with Rubina and Tucker. One thing I've always said is, yeah, showmances are bad, right? But a strong duo like Chemo and T-Core, that's just as good as a showmance, right? And I think people have seen that. I know Cam has actually seen that. He mentioned it to Chelsea. So I wouldn't be surprised if it can come back and hurt them in the end. But that's the risk you're kind of taking with this shot, right? If you can get rid of Tucker this week, it might be the chance to do it. But how does that affect your game long term? Maybe there were other people that could take that shot for you. But I think if things go the way they probably will, I think there's a really strong chance that MJ will be the one leaving this week. But let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. Who do you think the AI instigator is? What do you think of the nominees? Do you think T-Core made the right move? Who do you think has the best shot of leaving this week? Also, who do you think a potential renom would be in the event of a veto? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out with me every single morning as we do these live feed updates. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, you made it all the way to the end of this video, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out the links to all my socials in a pinned comment, description down below. Things like the Twitter and the Discord, great places to keep track of everything going on in the Ori universe. Every time I post a video, you'll see them posted there. Plus, Discord's a great place to hang out with other BB fans. We're all hanging out in there, always talking about the live feeds, other TV shows, reality shows, sports. We got the fantasy football draft coming up with that as well. But once again, thank you guys all so much for all the love and support. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you next time.
Woo!
Like a ray of sunshine. The sun is with us on earth.